Once again, welcome. We are still reading the book of Proverbs. We are still in Proverbs chapter 3. We just got done talking about verses 19 and 20 was the last bit of our discussion. And we are understanding how the Lord, by wisdom, founded the earth. By understanding, He established the heavens. By His knowledge, the depths were broken up, and clouds dropped down the dew. And we were understanding how much that it shows of who God is and the information He has and what to do with that information. And how everything He knew about, He made it work together to form the world. And how much more we were discussing that we are able to also have that same wisdom, that same understanding, the same knowledge, and how He wants us to grow. So we're going to continue, hopefully, to the rest of this chapter, starting in verse 21. Let's see here. Brother Rick, can I have you read 21 through 26?
Sure. My son, let them not depart from your eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, so they will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. Then you will walk safely in your way, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. And yes, when you lie down and your sleep will be sweet, do not be afraid of sudden terror, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught.
Okay, thank you. If you weren't here for last Wednesday, I also mentioned that there were 3 different types of fear that I've recognized in the Bible. And we recognize that we have the terror fear of of the Lord when He casts judgment, and are we worthy when He judges us? Are we terrified for our souls? So that's one of the fear of being terrified of God. The other fear is a respectful fear that God wants us to have towards Him and who He is, to respect His holiness. And the third fear is this one here that we were talking about, the world. So the writer of Proverbs continues to say, my son, let them not depart from your eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, so they will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. Then you will walk safely in your way, and your foot will not stumble. So that's another attribute that we should have when we're seeking wisdom, right? It will help guide us. It will bring us life. It will keep us safe. Not to mention, and your foot will not stumble, it says. And as a Christian, we yearn to do that, to live a day not stumbling. I do, at least. I look forward for a day where I finally can rejoice and say, I did not stumble today. I know that I was faithful in the eyes of the Lord. There's nothing that hindered me from my walk with Him. But unfortunately, I'm not there yet. I have a lot of growth to acquire. In verse 24, it continues to say, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. Okay, so there's that third fear that we're entering. You will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden terror, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught. Now, with that, how does that resonate with you? Why does that bring you so much joy and comfort? I mean, if you want to re-quote it, go ahead. But if there's something else you'd like to add on top of that, I'd be obliged to hear it.
I think it's very comforting, the whole part about lying down, your sleep will be sweet. I think we struggle with so many things, and at least I do, in this world that keeps our mind going when we lay down to go to sleep, right? It's that fear, it's that worry, it's that anxiety. But if we're, it says if we keep this wisdom of God with us, it should give us peace to not even be afraid when the trouble from the wicked come. Like, it's like, don't even worry about it coming. Even if it does come, there's no need to be afraid, right? I think, like you said, if we get to that point where we can actually rely on that wisdom and understanding of God, it would be nice to be able to go lay down and go to sleep at night and not worry about anything.
All right. Anyone else?
I was just going to say, along with that, the verse, trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding. There's a lot in this world I don't understand and I can't predict, but I know God's in charge ultimately, so it doesn't matter as long as I know that He's in charge, and I strive to stay faithful and to follow His word. That whatever happens, it's for God.
Correct. No, thank you for your comments, because that is very true. The more I read God's word, the more I understand the position of everyone that was in these stories, and how much murder and killing there was, and how people went after one another. For instance, David, right? David had to be afraid of the king. His life was in jeopardy plenty of times, right? I have not had that happen to me, where I had to watch out for someone to go after my own life. So I've had it pretty well. But to understand that, yes, there are parts of the world throughout years and decades, generations. It says in verse 25, do not be afraid of sudden terror, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. Now, I can't really grasp the whole concept of wicked, just because I've been blessed and I haven't seen a lot of wickedness in my life. I've seen some here and there, but I can't fully express to you that I've seen it all. So I've been blessed. But I got to heed these words and know that, okay, there's more evil out there. And once again, like you both expressed, if I lean upon God, I can go to sleep peacefully. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just talking about this, reminds me of one of my favorite verses, Romans 8:28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. All things work towards good. Even when we think something is bad or something, we can't understand why something happened, it works towards good. And God knows what's good. And, again, we trust in Him. We take that, we hold that as a promise that, even when bad things happen, there's a reason for it. And to be able to see that, we talked about that idea of providence, that out of something's bad, good can happen, and good can be brought out. And so that's just a reminder of that.
Right. I mean, the children of Israel, they got captured plenty of times, correct? And God used other kingdoms, other nations to enslave them. But He said, don't you worry. They're going to get what they deserve as well. But I'm going to take care of my children first. All right. Let's see here. That's right. We ended at verse 26. So, Mike, can I have you read 27 through the end of the chapter?
Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do so. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you. Do not despise evil against your neighbor, for he dwells by you for safety's sake. Do not strive with a man without cause, if he has done you no harm. Do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret counsel is with the upright. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the just. Surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble. The wise man shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools.
Okay. So this last part here, we're understanding the righteous man and how to walk with God in this last part. So why is it so important in the first two verses there, 27, 28?
Well, worldly wisdom is that, you need to keep resources to yourself and to your family and those immediately under your influence, right? And then there's the common modern expression, no good deed goes unpunished. The idea that even when you do good, it's going to come back to you in some negative way. And I found myself saying that at times, but God's telling us to have a different mindset and not the way the world thinks, which is hard sometimes.
It is. No. It truly is. Especially in that time as well. All right? They didn't have everything on demand like we do now. Right? If someone needed something and you're like, well, I really got to think about this, because a lot of times they would wager your life, right? If they needed water, would you give them your last bit of water in some shape or even half of it? How would you express that? So it says, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due. So good goes to everyone. Right? Even if you're a bad person, good is going to come to them. Right? When it is in the power of your hand to do so. So we have that power to do good to those around us. In verse 28, do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it when you have it with you. Now, why is that so important? The now instead of tomorrow.
Well, it's just trusting in God, for one thing.
Okay, I'll get back to you after he expresses.
So it's like telling somebody a half-lie. I got it. I'm not telling you. So I cannot give it to you right now, so I'll do it tomorrow when I got it in hand. But you already got it, it's in your pocket. You can give out the good whenever you want. You don't have to hold it back and say, wait for another time.
Right. Go ahead, do you have anything else to add?
Well, yes, it's this idea that do not say to your neighbor, go and come back. It's, what you say? Yeah, that's right. It's manipulation. It's not being truthful when you have it now. And I think you alluded to this. It's really trusting in God for the provision of what you'll need tomorrow. If you give it up today, He's going to provide it for you.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of when Jesus was talking about the judgment day and about the sheep and the goats and about how He's going to judge it. When we're doing things for people, whether it's giving them things or taking care of them, Jesus said, is what you do to the least of these, you do to me. And so when we don't do these things, you don't do it for Jesus. And so that's going to be kind of important for the criteria of Judgment Day. Are we doing those things because we know that, because we're doing this, that's what Jesus wants, and we could be doing it, might as well be doing it to Him.
Right. It's the expression of, once again, God. How are we reflecting God in our lives? How did God give to those around? Not to mention, today is so important because you never know about tomorrow. The Bible also expresses that tomorrow is never granted for us. So we need to learn how to live in the now and do it while it's called today. Growing up as a kid, I was told, don't always talk to strangers. Be wary of strangers. Even your neighbors can be strangers because you don't know them. Don't answer the door and things like that. And this is so crucial once again, is because, well, what are they asking of you? How much are they asking for you? How is your trust with that person? Because like you said before, it's that worldly wisdom of, am I going to get also anything out of this? Or are you going to give me back what I gave you? And we shouldn't be looking for getting anything out of it. If they need a bag of sugar, or if they need a pillow or anything like that, I should have that mindset of, like you said, God will provide for me. I want to give it for them because this is my attitude. I don't want anything back. Right? We're not seeking anything in return. So this is clearly giving. And a lot of people, once again, that trust. A lot of people will, I heard manipulation. Both sides. So it's really tricky. It's really hard. But once again, that attitude, if you know who your God is, and you can go to sleep peacefully and lean upon Him, and whatever you give to those, He'll take care of you. So that's a big part right there.
We're going to get to a verse that says, don't envy the oppressor. And that's kind of what I get out of these verses up to this point. It says, don't withhold good from those who it's due when it's within your power. Like when you have that ability, don't abuse it. Don't say to somebody, hey, go back home and come back tomorrow and ask me again when you've got it with you, just to show that you can make them do what you want them to do. So I think, I don't know, to me, and maybe this is just something about me that makes me read this verse this way, but yeah, it's like don't abuse the power that you have, and because you should know that any kind of control, power, good, gift, possession you have comes from God. Use it the right way.
Right. Go ahead, Rick.
When I see the word neighbor there, it always brings me to the parable of the Good Samaritan. Who is my neighbor? The one who was his neighbor, the one who showed mercy on him. That's something that we need to do as Jesus was teaching them. That we have to show the same kind. Not that we're expecting anything in return. The Samaritan didn't expect anything from the man that he helped. In fact, he paid for his care while he was away. So.
Right. No, thank you. That's spot on. That's what we were looking for. And it's hard to make that change as an individual, right? To just give everything up. So going on to verse 29, it says, do not devise evil against your neighbor, for he dwells by you for safety's sake. Do not strive with a man without cause, for he has done you no harm. Right there. Okay? People, how many of you go about your day saying, people are buying me for safety's sake? That's pretty meaningful. That's pretty powerful. I never thought about people who were gathering around me because I bring them safety or anything like that.
But it's just being good neighbors.
Okay, good neighbors. But it says, also, do not strive with a man without cause. Right? How many of us have conflicts? Whether if it's true or not, with each other or with our neighbors, or even if it is a cause, how big of a cause should it be that we are having a problem? Right? If it's a property line, should I really let that go up in flames? Or, I don't know, you can count as anything, but the key word is here, without cause. How many people throughout the Old Testament or even the New Testament had a cause, or not even a cause, and they weren't very kind? Go ahead.
So the second part of that, if he had done you no harm, why are we going to do harm to you?
Right. No harm, no foul, as the saying goes. In verse 31, do not envy or do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret counsel is with the upright. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the just. Surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools. Once again, he's going back and forth to the two people that you can become. Who are you going to become? And this is what the outcome is truly going to be. Any other comments on this chapter before we continue to chapter 4? The only things that I can really add to this last end is, once again, the Lord loves those whom he loves and hates those whom he hates. Speaking of, his anger and his wrath will be upon the wicked. Right? So that's going to happen. It says the curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the just. So I got to be looking out for how I walk. The scorn. I'm not too familiar with that word, so if my English teachers in the room could help express that better, I would be much obliged. But that last part, it says the humble. I got to be full of humility. I got to be full of humbleness in my walk with God. The wise shall inherit glory. Now, what is glory? What is the author trying to express here?
It's like the day of judgment. You separate the sheep and the goat. Right? Sheep and goat.
Okay. So Mike is expressing the glory is our salvation. That's what Mike is expressing. When we die and our souls are with God, we will have glory. Go ahead.
Well, one idea that came to mind about the glory was King Solomon when he discerned justly between those two women that brought the child. And he used wise judgment to discern who was the actual mother. And through that judgment, justice was meted out, and the rightful mother took the child, and so that in and of itself was glory to him and his kingdom, glory to God mostly, but so I think that wisdom can be how many lives were changed with that one judgment? For the mother, for the baby, perhaps for the one that didn't get the child as well, learning a powerful lesson, but for the community that witnessed it. This idea of the oppressor, I was thinking of Zacchaeus and Matthew, the tax collector, both. That Jesus had a powerful transformation in their lives. They were both oppressors, financially, and because they yielded to Christ, and so that's a reminder to me that I shouldn't judge someone because they're an oppressive person. I need to be like Christ was, just shine and bring hope.
Thank you. No, that's true. I mean, I'm not going to get into my work, but I've noticed that's with my work and how people are not very happy with what they have, and they take, or they don't give, and they're just always angry or mad because things aren't going their way. But for Zacchaeus, right, the tax collector, when God came, he's like, I'll give back to those that I've done wrong to. Okay. I got a little bit of time left. We'll continue on to verse 4, not unless Rick or Kara wants to express what scornful means to me.
Well, somebody who's scornful is somebody who rejects something that they see as being wrong or doesn't align with their particular viewpoint in life. They do it. It's something that's outward too. It's just something it's rejection of something that they don't accept.
Okay, rejection. All right. They're rejecting. Thank you.
You want to see in the New Testament, Paul talks about that in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. But to us who are being saved, it's the power of God. It's that same idea, that people will reject that idea of the cross, about they're scornful towards it, or for anyone who lives that particular way.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Let's see here. Alicia, can I have you read verses 1 through 9 of chapter 4?
Hear, O sons, our father's instruction, and be attentive that you may gain insight. For I give you good precepts, do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son of my father, tender, the only one in the sight of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast my words, keep my commandments, and live. Till when?
Till verse 9.
Get wisdom, get insight, do not forget, and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Verse 5?
No, verse 9. 9.
My jury is always do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Prize her highly, and she will exalt you. She will honor you if you embrace her. She will place on your head a graceful garland. She will bestow on you a beautiful crown.
Okay. So now we're here. We get a glimpse, right, of the life of the king who sought after wisdom. Right? So Solomon, because in verse 1 of chapter 1 it says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. So we have Solomon, the son of David. We're seeing here a little bit of this. It says, hear my children, the instructions of a father, and give attention to know understanding. So we're seeing the role of what a father figure should be like. For I give you good doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender, and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commands, and live. So David had influence. Well, he had a lot of influence on the whole nation, exactly. All right? But as a father, how much of your influence impacts as a father? In verse 4 he says, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all your getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote you. She will bring you honor, and when you embrace her, she will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory. She will deliver to you. So it says that the expression is to continue to get understanding, to get wisdom. You can't have one without the other. If you have one, if you have no understanding, what's the point of having wisdom? To get it, to keep my commands, and to live. So we're supposed to live on. We're supposed to continue striving forward, being a doer, as we read in the book of James. It says in verse 5, get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. So if we remember once again in the beginning of Proverbs, we see how wisdom is always reaching out. It says that she is out, always proclaiming, seek me, seek me. And now we have a father figure saying, go and seek wisdom. Go. So he's doing the same thing as what wisdom is also doing. So that's something as myself, I got to tell that to others, right? I got to say, hey, how's your walk with God? How's your wisdom? How's your understanding of this? Do you continue daily? Do you hold fast to it? Do you turn away from it? Some things for myself to look at and how I should help others. Another way of planting God's seed as we walk along this life. It says, do not forsake her, I'm in verse 6, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Now, how can we love wisdom when wisdom is not an actual person?
Seek wisdom, seek knowledge and wisdom.
Okay?
So the knowledge we seek is from God's word.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, isn't it kind of strange to have love, though? Why is that so important?
Jesus says where our treasure is, there our heart will be also. So if we put our energy and time into pursuing that, then our heart's going to be there too.
All right? Anything else? Right, because we also read in chapter 3 where it says, paraphrasing, but of course, but it's expressing how precious wisdom is compared to gold and silver and rubies. And how much does mankind love gold, silver, and rubies? All right? So the love of material things. Not to mention this verse, it says, love her and she will keep you. She won't throw you away. She won't leave you alone. She will always be there to take care of you. How precious is that? In verse 7, it says, wisdom is the principal thing. It's the principle, it says. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory she will deliver to you. Now, how do we exalt something that's not a human being, right? What is exalting? Prioritizing? Okay. Anything else with that?
Hold somebody in high esteem.
High esteem, holding them in high esteem. Would you say praising?
Speak highly of.
Speak highly. Okay.
Trying to pursue times with wise people.
Okay, being around wise people. So other people that can teach you. Alright. Right, because once again, wisdom is part of God. It's just another way of saying, here's God, here's what you have, seek God. And so we're exalting God. We're giving Him glory and holding Him in high esteem. We're giving Him praise. We're prioritizing our life. And it says in this last part, she will bring you honor. Now why is honor so important? Why do I need honor?
I think of honor, it helps me to think of dishonor.
Okay.
Like something, you've done something dishonorable, you've shamed people, probably shamed maybe your parents or your family. It's maybe a public thing that you've done, maybe even in the newspaper. So the opposite of that, I think, is something commendable, something that you're going to be, it's going to improve those around you.
Okay. Well, for a king, if you're a knight and you go to a king and you say it's an honor to serve you. Why? Because of who they are. If I'm serving King David and I say it's an honor to be amongst you, it's because of who they are. Of the magnitude. What position they are in. Right? You're exalting them. It's another way of saying, this is how glorious you are. And in return, God is going to take care of us. And He's going to help us and say, you're doing a good job. You're learning, you're growing, you're living a life that I want you to live. But only if you embrace her. So you must once again love her, embrace her, and keep her. It says, she will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory she will deliver to you. Doesn't God also express that in other passages we will receive a crown? It's kind of odd to think about, right? Like, why do I deserve a crown? But once again, that's what God is going to give us if we are faithful to Him. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I was just thinking how before you were talking about the idea of wisdom and knowledge, and that you need both of them. The idea that wisdom is the application of knowledge; it's the doing of it; it's putting it to work in your life. And the idea of, and that thought kind of took me back to James, where he says, "Be doers of the word and not hearers only." The idea that we can hear all this knowledge, but if people don't see it in our lives, if we don't show it, there's going to be no benefit to that knowledge. It's just going to be head knowledge rather than something that people can see it and see in our lives, and that can bring, when they see that brings praise, and that brings attention to God when they see that in our lives. That's one of the things Peter was talking about too, when he says, live such good lives among the Gentiles that when they see your good works, they glorify God on that day. We want them to do. That's the wisdom that God is showing us. That's our applying what we know so that other people can come to know Him.
Right. So this is just a beautiful statement once again to show the roles of parenting. Once again, showing how God will take care of us once we seek Him and embrace Him. And once again, another passage of a crown that we will be given, but only if we are faithful to Him. I'm out of time for this evening. I'll ask if there's any last moment questions or comments to the audience. Anything, Terry? I see you stewing.
No, I wasn't going to say anything, but the application of knowledge with wisdom, this whole, you'll get a crown, you'll get glory. I think it's just saying when you learn to take your knowledge and apply it through wisdom, your life's going to be better. It's like the old example. We know that a tomato is a fruit, right? That's knowledge. But wisdom tells us don't put that in the fruit salad, right? Our life's better. Our fruit salad's a little better if we don't put that particular fruit in it, right? So, yeah, I think that's what it's saying. You use your knowledge, apply it through wisdom, you get that crown. Your life's going to be better.
Right. Well, thank you once again for your time and your patience and your comments. I am grateful for it. And at this time, we always